Greetings, beautiful soul, and welcome to my channel, The Optimist Hub. My name is Yanga, and today's video, I want to talk a bit about living life on autopilot. Now, I think most of us, if not all of us, tend to find ourselves stuck in a constant loop of sameness, right? Doing the same thing every day where life just feels like a repetition. Now, here's why living life on autopilot is not necessarily the best way to live life. One, it literally removes you from the present moment. In fact, it is a symptom of the lack of awareness. It is a symptom of not being mindful. It is a symptom of not being in the present moment. In order to live a meaningful life, we ought to be in the present moment. And for us to be in the present moment, we need to be aware of the moment that is. And for us to be aware in the moment that is, we need to be mindful of the moment that is. And so, when we live on autopilot, literally, it's like, it's almost as though you are living life just like focused on this one thing, but not really focusing because you're just doing out of habit, And in no way, shape, or form am I saying that having habits or having a strict routine is bad necessarily, but I am saying that people who usually, just live life as it's like this has to happen this way and it has to happen like this every day and every week and every month and every year, life becomes like a repetitive cycle, and it's almost giving the matrix and the system, the system of just repetitiveness and not being fully mindful. Again, you don't want to sleep your way through life. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to go through life asleep or half asleep, because essentially that is what living life on autopilot is. It is just doing things in a dazed, state of being, because you're not fully aware, you're not fully present. And I think the last thing that you don't want is to find yourself in certain situations, spaces, places with people of a certain kind, and you're just not even sure how you even got there, right? You don't want to find yourself once you awaken, once you now realize that, no man, what just happened? You don't want to be, like oh my God, how did we get here? You need to know how you got there. You need to be aware of how you got there, right? And I think another thing also, it is very important to try and break the cycle of sameness. Add some spice into your life, thicken the plot a bit, change your routine, zhuzh it up a bit, just don't find yourself in a monotonous way of living. You know what I mean? I think it's very important because, like I said, mindfulness is a big element when it comes to, changing the way in which we live life. We also need to live life with intention. We need to be intentional with how we move. Where there is no intention, there's no direction. I'm going to repeat that again. Where there is no intention, there is no direction. And so it is very important for you to sit down and be intentional with where you're going. Be mindful, be present. Really, this is a call for you to be in the present moment. I always say the present moment is eternal because every day is the present moment of that day. And so it requires of you to be in the moment. It requires of you to bask in the moment, that is to experience, because again, when we live in autopilot, guys, we tend to miss the moments, we tend to miss experiences. And I think most people also live on autopilot. I don't think this would be an intentional thing to do, but most people live on autopilot because they're actually even escaping reality, right? Let's be in the present moment, and stop also wondering about the distant future. That will sort itself out when the time is right. You will cross that bridge when you get there. Whatever it is that is bothering you, or whatever that makes you constantly, worried about the future. Look, easier said than done, okay? Easier said than done, but I always say, if it is meant to be, the higher power will make sure, firstly, it is destined. It is predestined. And so if it is meant to be, the higher power will make sure that you are in alignment with whatever it is that you feel drawn to, feel called to be, or to become, or to achieve, whatever it is that you're worrying about in the future, right? Oftentimes also people get stuck in the past. One thing about the past, which is a fact, is we can never go back there again. Literally, it's over, it's done. All we can draw from the past are the lessons that we have learned from the experiences, right? But it does not help to wallow in the past experiences, those that are within our control, right? It does not help, or experiences that were in our control, it doesn't help for us to wallow in what we could have, what we should have, what we must have done. It's over now, but now it's a what can you, what should you do in the present moment that will have a positive impact or effect on the future version of yourself, right? Another thing, we need to be active participants in our own lives. You need to be an active participant in your own life. You cannot just sleep, like I said, sleep your way through life, right? You need to be an active. Stop watching yourself from an observer's point of view. Stop experiencing life from a spectator's point of view. You are the main character in your story. Do not act like you are playing a cameo role or you are a feature. No, you are the main character. So you need to show up as one. And in showing up, this is where you need to be intentional with showing up. This is where the intention stems from, being mindful and being aware of the life that is now, because you are blessed with the breath in your lungs, because there is purpose that is still waiting for you to fulfill. Your heart is beating because your presence has purpose. There is a reason why you are here. And so don't skate through life in a daze, right? Be sharp, be alert, be aware, fall in love with life. Fall in love with that. Life is literally happening for you and not to you, right? And so with that said, beautiful soul, that's literally what today's video is all about. Really and truly just a call for you to be in the present moment. Living life on autopilot robs you of the opportunities to experience the moments that present themselves in the now, right? Living life on autopilot actually entraps you in a constant loop of sameness, where it's just like there's nothing more to life than just doing. I just feel like living life on autopilot is more about doing than it is about being. And so we need to focus on being present, being our most truest versions of ourselves, being, the best versions of ourselves, being the moment that is. You are the moment, and the moment is you. And so you better bask in the moment that is right now. Not tomorrow, not next year, not in the next coming years, not in the next decade. Now, today. Live life today. Be full of life today. Be filled with life today, because you have life and because you are life itself. And with that said, beautiful soul, may goodness and grace lead you to greater heights of success. Namaste.